So what is a unit fraction?
One is a. Well,
It has
the
one.
same number as the numerator.
It has 1 as its numerator.
Oh, that's one.
It's 1. Unit fractions have 1 as their numerator. Doesn't matter what the denominator is.
No.
Okay? But the numerator is 1. Yes.
Can I go to the back?
Go ahead. Okay. All right. So we are going to learn how to divide fractions today. Now I know yesterday's lesson was ridiculously easy.
Yep.
Today's lesson is also easy, but it's a different kind of easy. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example here. All right. So we're going to be dividing whole numbers and unit fractions both ways. Okay. So that would mean like 4 divided by 1/3. Okay. That's a whole number and a unit fraction. Okay. Or it could be the opposite. Divided by 4. Okay. We're going to be looking at both ways. Okay. Now, yeah, go ahead and write those down. Okay. So, whole number divided by unit fraction, and then unit fraction divided by whole number. Okay. Now, when we are dividing fractions, you're not actually dividing. You multiply. Okay? So, on your paper, real big on your paper. Okay? Real big.
Okay.
I want you to write KFC.
Chicken.
And we're not talking about chicken. Not talking about chicken. Okay? KFC. That is the most important thing we are going to talk about when we are talking about dividing fractions. Okay? Now, okay. So, K stands for keep. Write it. K stands for keep. F stands for flip.
Do a flip.
What does it mean when you flip?
Oh, flip the numbers.
You flip it over. Okay? And C stands for change. C stands for change. So, keep, flip, change. You do all 3 every time. Okay? So, KFC. So, every time you see a division problem that has a fraction in it, you need to think, I have to KFC it. Keep, flip, change. Okay? Keep, flip, change. So, all together, we're going to say what KFC means. Okay? No. I'm recording. Thanks. KFC. Repeat after me. Keep, flip. I said repeat after me. KFC. Keep, flip, change.
KFC. Keep, flip, change.
One more time. KFC. Keep, flip, change.
KFC. Keep, flip, change.
Okay, now let's learn what this means. Actually. Okay. So I'm gonna use that top. I'm gonna leave that KFC there. Okay. I'm gonna use this top example. Okay. So we're gonna use 4 divided by 1/3 as our example. Okay. First thing I need to do is I need to turn my whole number into a fraction. So that becomes 4 over 1 divided by 1/3. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to do. All right, when you see these problems, you need to change your whole number into a fraction. All you do is put that whole number over 1. Okay, so that's step number 1. Good so far? Okay, all right. Now, I did not. I learned it from Miss Littlejohn at the high school. Who's that? Miss Littlejohn at the high school. She retired, so you will not have the pleasure of having her, but she was a really good math teacher. Okay, so now I have my fractions ready to go. So now I have to implement KFC. All right. K stood for what?
Keep.
Keep. I keep my first number the same. There's K. There's my K. Okay? K, I keep my first number the same. F stands for what? Flip. I flip my second number. So I flip it over and it becomes 3/1. Okay? So keep your first number, flip your second fraction, and then you change division to multiplication. Then you solve it. So when I multiply fractions, remember you multiply straight across. So what's 4 times 3?
12.
Over 1 times 1, which is the same thing as 12.
So easy.
That's it.
That's easy.
Let me test your No, I'm going to go over it, make sure you know what's going on. Okay? Yes, ma'am. It's not always going to turn out that way. Okay? But in unit fractions, a lot of the time when you have a whole number first, your answer will be a whole number. Okay? All right. Okay, so let's go over some of your slides so you know what's going on. Okay, now here we have some pictures. Okay, so we have 1 divided by 1/2 and 2 divided by 1/2. Okay, so this red part right here goes with this first one. Okay, so if I have, I'll write this up here. If I have 1 divided by 1/2, I'm going to, what do I have to do with this first? What do I do first?
Oh,
before I do
make
that?
it a fraction.
I need to make it into a fraction. Okay, so 1/1. All right, now, KFC. What does KFC stand for?
Keep flip change.
Okay, so keep the first one, flip the second one, change my sign, and so my answer becomes what? 2. 2, 1. If you count these pieces, how many pieces do you have? 2. Now, this yellow piece right here goes with this 2 divided by 1/2. How many pieces do you have?
4.
That's your answer.
Oh.
So literally all you have to do on this one, you don't even have to do any math. You just have to count how many pieces you have. Okay? All right. Now, on these 2. On this one, you'll have to do the math. Okay? But on the top 2, you won't have to. Okay? All right? What does KFC stand for?
Keep flip change.
Keep flip change. Okay, so, all right. Now, let's look at this one. This one's a little bit different. It's got some words in it. Okay. So, 2 divided by 1/7. Okay. 2 divided by 1/7 is my question that they want the answer for. It asks, there are blank 7ths in one whole, and so there are blank 7ths in 2 wholes. So, if I have 1 whole, what am I trying to do here? Okay. I don't know. Okay, so I have a box. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I separated it into 7, right? Okay, yeah, you need to do it. Okay, so I have a box. I separated it into 7s. So how many pieces do I have in that one whole box? 7, right? So I have 7 pieces in that one box. Now, but it also wants to know how many 7ths would I have if I had 2 boxes?
14.
I would have
14.
14. Okay? So that's what it's doing. It's asking you how many 6 do you have in one hole? You have 6 pieces in one hole if they're in 6. And then how many do you have in 5 holes? So you would multiply 5 times 6. Okay? So that's what you're doing on this slide. Easy peasy, right? All right. Now, this one, We're KFCing it is all you're doing. Okay? So, except on this one, they don't change this, but I want you to change it into a fraction.
Okay.
Okay? Before you ever start, change your first one into a fraction. So, you keep the first number, flip the second number. They have this. I don't care if you did this part or not.
What is it?
Okay?
That's a waste of time.
It's just where they're putting it all together. You know how to do that. I ain't worried about that. And then you get your answers. Okay? All right? You don't do those red parts. Don't do those red boxes. You know how to do that. You know just to look at it and multiply. You know how to do that. Okay. This one, you're gonna do the math. Okay? You're doing the math, drag your answer out. Okay? All right. Last slide. Same thing. You're KFCing it.
Okay.
All right. Anybody have any questions? All of your answers. All. Everybody hear that? All of your answers will be whole numbers. Every answer you get on here will be a whole number. If you get a fraction, you done something wrong. Okay? The whole thing. Okay? The entire assignment. No fractions for answers. Okay? All right.